Welcome to the Fire Rescue Wellness Podcast Spotlight, where we revisit take-home messages and shine a light on previous FRW podcasts in 10 minutes or less. I'm Lex, AZ's right and left-hand woman, and I churn out these mini episodes for her. Let's go.
I think I'm convinced that all of our growth, personal, professional, happens from the Fringe.
Amen, sister. Amen.
Yep.
So I became aware of your company through our mutual friend, Shantae, the Movement Maestro. Shout out to Shantae.
Yep, of course.
And I went to her live in-person event. It was called Boss Up in October. And you guys had been so kind to donate some samples of one of your products, which is CBD. So
yep.
Let's start with CBD because the fire service is a little bit leery, some of us, because many of us have zero tolerance with drug rules and regulations. So first of all, let's start simple. In kindergarten, what is CBD and what does it do?
Yeah, so CBD is a compound that is found in the hemp plant. The hemp plant is a variety of the cannabis plant. So, just to get that out on right on the table right now, recreationally or in slang terms called marijuana, the plant is called cannabis sativa, and you can farm it to have high levels of THC, which is the psychoactive compound. And you can also farm it to have very low levels of THC, which is hemp. But at the end of the day, the plant's name is cannabis, and THC gets a lot of the hype and excitement. But there's actually more CBD in the cannabis plant than there is THC, and CBD is a non-psychoactive compound in the cannabis plant. It's the major compound found in the cannabis plant, and it has an amazing ability to provide healing to our body without the psychoactive effects. So that is what CBD is. So the interesting thing about these compounds from the plant is that a lot of marketing companies have really educated people, which is not what you want. You want people that are willing to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, just the truth on how this works. And so CBD works with a system in our body. It has a huge name, which is called the endocannabinoid system. We've not learned about it. If you're going to start with a product and your name of your company's Fringe, then you probably should start talking about cannabis, because cannabis is, it has been prohibited from human access in this country for almost 100 years. We had no access to use it medicinally, very little access. And we also didn't spend a lot of time researching its medicinal benefits, but it's here to stay now. CBD is legal in the United States of America and across all 50 states. And the CBD molecule basically comes into our body when we ingest it, and it helps this system in our body called the endocannabinoid system. It helps that system regulate our internal well-being. And so the crazy part about not learning about this system is we know about our circulatory system and our muscular system and our nervous system and our hormones and how our body, reacts to inflammation. This endocannabinoid system is like the umbrella for all of it. It's like the gas and the brakes in our internal health, and it moderates what's going on. So if we are experiencing anxious feelings and our nervous system is dysregulated, the endocannabinoid system is actually responsible for regulating or moderating that response. Same with an immune response, an inflammation response, blood pressure, respirations, hormones in our body. It's wild, but this umbrella system will be the future of medicine and is being highly, researched by the pharmaceutical industry. And this will be commonplace 10 years from now. But right now we're still in this stage where the CBD industry is not federally regulated. So what you just said, which is that, hey, in my industry, which is the fire rescue industry, but also the government, the Department of Defense, in a lot of service-based industries, you cannot have THC in a product that you take. And here is why everybody is right if they are concerned about the CBD products that they would take containing THC, because in an unregulated industry, there is no governing body guaranteeing the product that you take and the quality of the CBD product that you take and guaranteeing that there's no THC in it. So I am very honest about this right now. When people say, I'm just really leery, and I say, you should be. You very much so should be. But if you think that CBD could come in and you learn about it and you understand how impactful it can be, wow, with mental health, with sleep disorders, I mean, it's just absolutely miraculous, with pain and inflammation and other disease processes, then it's worth taking your time to learn about the company who makes it, make sure they're doing absolutely everything right, so you feel really comfortable taking that product and not worried, about your job.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell.
And you mentioned that for 100 years or so, we've been prohibited from taking these natural compounds. What is the history of that sort of prohibition with THC and CBD?
I know, it's like a good Hollywood movie. It has a lot of politics, a lot of religion, a lot of race. But at the end of the day, it's very interesting. It stems back to if you went into a pharmacy in 1930 and you walked in, compounds from the cannabis plant would have been the number one thing you would have been prescribed for pain, inflammation, sleep disorders, mental health issues, stress, anxiety, depression. It was our medicine. But the hemp plant became very competitive with the paper industry, actually, the newspaper industry. And then there is this accompanying, political and racial undertones centered around the cannabis plant. And there just was a lot of greed centered around the motivation to make it a Schedule I drug. And, at the end of the day, the powers to be won that war. And cannabis was a Schedule I drug for a really, really, really long time. I mean, my entire life, I was programmed to think marijuana is, very bad for you, can kill you. And at the end of the day, the truth could not be farther from that.
Well, and what I'm hearing is now that the newspapers are obsolete, it's okay right? Again. Oh, my Lord. I mean, it's funny. We do a talk where we talk about the history of cannabis, and it literally, that whole talk is just sort of like jaw dropping, where you go, really? Because even some of the earliest research, THC research, where the government was desperately trying to prove, that THC would cause death and despair. They couldn't possibly prove it if they tried. Everything they did disproved, their agenda and their story. And the funniest thing is, it's so puzzling now to mainstream medicine that CBD, this compound from a plant that humans lived alongside for thousands of years and used the seeds, the stalks, the plants for our nutrition, for our medicine, for our livestock, it would only make sense that that plant is still here because of its benefit to our well-being. That's how humans and plants have lived together for so long. But the interesting, thing about it is there's still this movement to try and make, CBD seem like you're going to have dependency or withdrawal. There is no information whatsoever to support that. CBD from the hemp plant is so safe. It's so effective in helping our well-being. And it's why people see so many benefits from it when they start using it, and they're kind of stunned. And it's like, this is how we're supposed to respond to things that balance us, time outdoors, movement and exercise,
just what we eat, we respond very well to those very basic inputs. And like I said to you, that's what I refer to as sort of that ancient wisdom of health and healing. It's miraculous because it's how we were meant to function.